I don't mind being on camera, and then oftentimes we have to jump on camera for dumb things, but none of us want to be the guy on camera.
Yeah. So I'm going to do this completely artificial thing where I'm going to clap. Now we can sync the audio because I'm recording the audio separately on a podcast recorder here. You know what's funny is the first time I did this, I had my cousin Carlo on, and I wanted to bring him on because I just turned 40 last month. I thought, it'd be really cool to have a conversation with someone younger, and they can kind of ask me questions like, what's it like being so fucking old? You're 40 now. So he lives in San Jose, and he drove over here. We recorded for like 2 hours, right? I was like, all right, that's awesome. That's great. I turned the camera off. I start checking the files on the recorder, and I never press record on the audio.
Well, I hope you're recording today.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely recording. What's interesting is literally when he sat down, I checked all the mic levels, and I could have sworn I pressed record. But the muscle memory wasn't there because I'm just so used to feeding the audio directly into the camera.
Yeah.
And I haven't recorded audio separately in such a long time. I guess it just went in autopilot. So he had to come over again the next week. We did another 1.5-hour podcast, but it was great.
That's funny.
He just had a good attitude about it, and so I brought him on. What's interesting too is he was actually the star of the very first 2 videos I ever made when I just started this whole filmmaking thing. In the first one, I did this kind of like, it was an homage to Batman, because I'm a huge Batman fan, and and I've always wanted to do one of those training montages, right? Those badass training montages. So I did that, and he played the villain there. So like other little nephew, he was getting bullied by him. Yeah, so it was, and then the second one was kind of like his starring role where it's it's your typical like filmmaking school video where a person is fighting themselves. It's kind of trapped. Yeah, I did all those usual tropes. But
when you say fighting themselves, do you mean like the mental battle?
But I literally it is a mental battle, but it was literally himself too. There was another version, like he was trapped in this dream world. And, yeah. So and he did great. So it's kind of poetic justice that it would be him for that podcast episode. Anyway, I guess I should introduce you, Joe, since probably no one knows who you are and why you're here.
My wife knows who I am, and she'll probably watch this.
Well, that's true. I guess someone knows you. Your kid knows who you are, too.
He knows me, too. Yeah. We're mostly sure I'm his father. He's got my ears.
I know. Well, supposedly, according to Chris, she sees the resemblance. I don't see it personally, but...
Yeah, given my ex-wife, you have to wonder. So thank God there's cues.
We'll just leave it at that. But anyway, so if you guys remember, this is kind of the weird thing. Like, we're talking, but I also have to address this because it is a video. If you guys remember, many, many weeks ago, I did this challenge for a week where I was going to shoot B-roll every day, but I didn't want it to be just a bunch of random shots, it had to be shots that told the story. Otherwise, you wouldn't really get better as a filmmaker and storyteller. So one of the concepts I came up with that week was I came up with this guy who returns a lot of packages at Amazon. Actually, it's based on Chris, because that's what Chris does all the time. But she didn't want to star in it. She's like, oh, they might flag my account if they see this. Because what she does is because there are things where...
She's going to have a want it poster. Yeah.
She was genuinely afraid of that. Because what she loves to do is, I don't know how she finds this. I think it's on Facebook, is if you buy certain items on Amazon and then you write a review, they give you free Amazon credit. So what she would do is she would find these items, review them, and then once she gets the credit, she'll just return them, and she'll still have that Amazon credit.
Though, she earned it. She did the review.
That's
the review is what they're paying for. Mm-hmm. The review is what they're paying for. So
yeah, see, Chris, you have nothing to worry about.
Absolutely, she's an honorable woman.
Yeah, but it was Saturday, the last day of the challenge. I was just struggling for an idea because at this point I was burnt out. I'd already done 4 ideas, 4 video ideas in a week. That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And so we were just talking about her Amazon behavior. It's like, oh, there you go. Let's do that. And she just refused to be in it. But anyway, so that's the video you guys saw in the intro. And I brought Joe here to give feedback because I thought you would be a perfect person to give feedback. And I know this is supposed to be a two-way conversation, and right now it's very one-way. But I feel like I have to explain to people why I wanted you to give that feedback. Because if you guys don't know, and you probably don't know because you're not Joe's wife or his kid.
They're probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I'd say.
I mean, it was even debatable if my kid's my kid. So
Wait, the years give it away, like you said, those years.
the gray area grows.
No, but Joe is a creative director at a media agency. I'm not going to say which, so that we don't get in trouble, and we can talk freely. But Joe was also, were you creative director at, this one I can say, at BBDO, or were you art director there?
No, I was the art director at BBDO.
Okay, but Joe's about as legit as it comes in terms of the commercial work, because you came up with and directed a very successful, was it GMC or Buick campaign?
We did Ram truck.
Dodge Ram, yes.
But that was actually at a company called Donor.
Oh, okay, so that wasn't with BBDO.
No, I mean, I'm not so young.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've been in the field over 20 years.
Yeah, so you can see Joe is legit, and especially when it comes to, being creative and coming up with ideas. And then what's funny is, I remember when I came into the agency that you're creative director at currently, I saw in your bio that you were at BBDO, and I know that's a big deal. And yeah, I saw that you directed and created a multi-million-dollar successful campaign. I was like, yeah, I get it, but reading it, it's not really tangible, right? You don't really feel it. You need to kind of see the goods for yourself.
I don't think anyone's impressed with bios anymore, to be honest.
I think a lot of people are. I think LinkedIn is all bios.
That's true,
right?
I'm jaded, so
yeah. But I also think you're the kind of person that's just not impressed by bios. You don't put a whole lot of stock in
I don't really care.
I mean, that very much shows in your management style too, right? You very much have a management style where we're peers, even though you're the creative director and I was a lackey. You very much didn't treat it that way.
Not silly.
Yeah. But anyway, so the whole point of me telling this story was, so yes, I saw all of, Joe's bio, and while I should be impressed, and I did respect him, I wasn't truly impressed until, I don't know if you remember this, we had this one meeting. It was me, you, and Osh. I don't know where Robert was. I think Robert might have been on vacation or something. And we had to brainstorm ideas for, I can't see, but basically the company that owns us.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can't say us. I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
But it was
Parent company.
I think it was for the diversity video.
Oh, yeah.
The last one. And
diversity inclusion.
yeah, so it was me, you, and Osh. We were brainstorming ideas, and within 10 minutes, you came up with 5 different ideas that were all very different takes on the idea, and they were all really, really good.
Oh, thank you.
And that's when I was like, well, I can't do that in 10 minutes. That would take me a day. Yeah. And you did it in 10 minutes on the spot. And like I said, they were all very different angles, and they were all really good takes on it. And that's when it hit me oh yeah, Joe's really got the goods. So that's why I thought you would be a perfect person to give feedback on this returner video.
I'm just happy to be working with you again in any capacity, even if it's for fun.
I know. I kind of just came and went.
I know. I miss you.
Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, maybe not so much, because for most of the year, you guys haven't even been in the office. In fact, the guy who replaced me never even stepped foot.
He never stepped foot in the office.
Right? Because the whole COVID thing happened.
And then he lost his job in a month.
Yeah.
So I feel horrible for him.
Because he did leave another job to join you guys.
As far as I understand, yeah.
Oh, my God.
And I didn't even know that he got let go, which is also crazy.
Oh, man.
I found out we showed up to a meeting that morning we got called to. And I was like, where's he at? And then I was like, oh, there'll be an announcement. And then I found out. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I guess, my leaving really just ushered in this doom, for the world and for the company in general.
Yeah, when you left, we fell apart, started firing people, and just screw this whole place.
What's funny is I remember what I told you and Robert that I was leaving. You guys took it really well. And I was talking to Robert. It's like, you know, you guys took it a little too well. Yeah, where's the waterworks at? Yeah, I was
You know,
expecting a bigger reaction.
no, because the way we could tell something was up with you.
I know you did because you were already kind of
Yeah,
suspicious.
I saw it. So
Yeah,
when you
you're-
told me, it was just like, you know, my little Batman detective skills came into play, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, because you
I
kind
saw
of
that one
already
coming.
started feeling like I had half a foot.
You
was
did.
kind of a little
It
mentally
was
checked
obvious
out.
that you
Yeah.
were, because I even talked to you about, you know, I wanted to get you a higher position in the company and more money, and you're like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, like
It's like dead giveaway.
never ever. I didn't even have to be intelligent for that one. It's like this dude's like, hey, we want to give you more money. I don't know. I don't know if I'm interested in that.
Yeah, I guess that's all right.
I mean, my wife's been making money writing fake reviews on Amazon and sending crap back, so I don't need the money. You can't even imagine how much crap she sends back. So,
I'm just gonna close the blinds real quick.
which is probably good because I keep looking out the window. I'm a chronic like window looker outer guy.
Oh, I am as well.
I just can't help it, which is probably distracting for the video having this guy like look over his right shoulder repeatedly.
You do whatever you want.
Like what's back there? What is he looking at? Nothing really.
Yeah.
There's just
So then you don't know.
sunshine.
There's a window right on Joe's right side. And just close the blinds real quick because it looked like it was going to be cloudy all day. And of course, as you have it, as soon as you start shooting, the weather changes.
Oh, yeah.
As it always is. No, but yeah. I guess it was kind of obvious to anyone who paid. Well, especially because you and I always have so much interaction because we had to work together so much.
I mean, I was literally staring at you while I was at my desk. Like you were literally, there's my computer, and if I look over it to the right, there's you. So, I mean,
Oh man! But anyway, so yeah, that's why I thought you would be perfect to give feedback on this video because I do respect your creativity and
thank
you
you.
coming up with ideas. So yeah, so you saw the video. I guess first off, what did you think? I know, and what would you do to make it better? I know, like, not at this number. There's definitely ideas I have to make it better, but I want to hear from you first. What did you think?
you know, I thought number one, I liked it, and there's little points I'll go off on what I liked, but I did find part of it confusing.
Okay.
Because you were returning stuff, but then it looked like it was appearing in your room while you were returning it. So it looked like you were buying stuff, but on the screen it was saying you're returning it. It almost needed to be in reverse. So like your desk had to be filled with piles of packages, and then they would disappear as you did it versus pile up. So that didn't track for me.
That's a very good point. Yeah, it's so funny that when you do these things, you interpret it one way in your mind, and then someone else sees it who's not connected to it at all and has a completely different interpretation. But that's completely valid. That definitely would have sold it more because the idea was you're seeing these things pile up. Oh, he's returning so much.
Exactly.
But like you said, I think your idea would be even clearer.
Yeah, because I was confused. Like when you returned the first
yeah.
one and then it appeared on your desk, I was like, why is he getting a package he just got rid of? This doesn't, and I was like, am I not understanding something? Do I not know what the return, like what, maybe I don't get Amazon because I have my wife buy everything on Amazon. But
No, you understand, your understanding of how packages work is pretty straightforward.
okay,
It's
I
pretty
feel good about that.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you might start with the giant stack and then make it disappear.
Okay.
And then if you want to get like kind of like, what is it? What is the current Twilight Zone kind of show called? Black something.
Oh, Black Mirror.
Yeah, if you want to go a little Black Mirror on it, you can see like the mouse takes off on its own and things in your room start disappearing on you and you start freaking out and your whole life starts getting sent back until you're just standing there in your underwear. It'd be kind of funny.
You see, folks, that's why I brought him on, is for those kind of ideas. Yeah, that would have been great. I can tell you why I didn't take it that far. Because honestly, I was just too lazy. It was the last day of the challenge. And I am doing everything myself.
Challenge fatigue.
Yeah. I just wanted to keep it as, as simple as possible. But I definitely think if you were to take this video to the next level, That's the way to go, and that's really interesting too.
I just wanted you in your underwear. Unless you pop your pec, so we kind of got a preview of the goods. And it's like this
I
guy's.
always have to put in the silliness somehow.
Yeah. If this guy's popping his pecs, he's got to get down into his underwear.
Hey, those
somehow.
are just my small Asian pecs, not like your gigantic, massive pecs. I never forget when I don't even know how it. I must have asked you to show me, like we were both in the restroom at the same time.
Do you realize how if we stopped right there?
I know.
We were in the restaurant at the same time and I asked you to show me.
Because why else would I have seen it?
Cue some George Michael music.
Yeah. Look, especially like one of the things we always talk about when we're in the office is either video games, UFC, or just like working out. Right. So we must have been on one of our workout tips, and we were in the restroom. I must have said, okay, just show me and let's see these massive pecs. And they were massive. I couldn't believe how big they were. It's like, wow, Asians really are small. It's like, oh.
I don't know if it's even a cultural thing. I think they're just kind of weird.
There's definitely genetics. You're still putting on muscle. Like
I'm 43.
You're 43,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like guys don't put on muscle anymore at that age. It becomes harder and harder. If anything, you really start losing it. That's when it starts.
But I still have a hard time with the fat, man.
That's true. But the fact that I remember specifically when you really started like taking the creatine again and the protein, and it really just started packing on again. I was amazed. Like I can't. Well, I've always had a hard time packing on muscle, though. I have either a low testosterone level or high estrogen level, so I don't have much of an Adam's apple, and so that's why my features tend to be like more like.
But you're pretty.
Feminine,
you're
more.
pretty
I'm more on my features are definitely more on the feminine side. I don't think anyone has ever like accused me of being rugged and manly. Well, maybe if they've ever seen me do martial arts fight, then it'd be a different story, but. It's like the pretty fighter. Now you got me saying that I'm pretty. Thanks, Joe. There you go. Everyone thinks I'm full of myself.
Well, if they know you.
I know you and Alyssa used to give me so much shit about that. I was like,
my favorite thing, I'm about to like kill you right on your own show.
No, go for it.
Is when you make videos for Instagram, you have this tendency to hold the camera high, right? Before you look at it. But every so often, you start the camera just quicker than you want it to. And you might not even realize you do it. And you're preparing your face to look good. And yes.
I don't even know I'm doing it.
But you don't always do it. But if we catch you hitting record too early, there's this little moment where your face like does this little pucker, almost like a duck lip. And then it goes into like this little cute smile before you start talking. And every time that's caught on camera, I laugh out loud. Like every time, no matter what I'm doing, I bust out laughing out loud. It's oh, Mike's being pretty. Mike's being pretty.
Chris is going to love you for that. She always says I do this. I don't even know what you're talking about. I guess I'm completely unconscious that I'm even doing it.
So even unconsciously, you're being pretty.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, she's going to love that. Anyway, to go back to the video, yeah. So that was a great idea. Take it to the next level where all of a sudden I lose control of the mouse and it just goes crazy and everything just starts disappearing in my room. But it wouldn't be the returner anymore at that point, right? Because the whole idea would be is to kind of personify this person who loves returning.
But it's almost like, what it is it is the returner, but it takes a dark twist. It's like it's the returner, but what happens when returning gets out of control?
Coming soon to theater near you.
If there's theaters anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so how else would you improve that video?
That's the biggest thing. There was things I liked. I always find it challenging to have screen capture look good, and I actually thought that looked really nice. There's a few ways in. There's different programs that can do it. Some people like to hold the camera near the screen, which I think is the worst.
That's probably the hardest way to do it.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Maybe bringing in a second person to help you, which I guess wasn't part of the project. It was solo things. So even if you set it up on a tripod and did more like over the shoulders just in between, just to kind of, so you're not looking so much at the screen while the mouse moves, because to me that's always kind of boring. So more like, track the hand, cut to the screen, say movement with the cursor, so it's one continual quick flow. And same thing with like over the shoulder for a second, and then zoom in and from over the shoulder right into the screen with the just to give it more dynamic, because like I said, the capture is really nice, but it loses a sense of being dynamic just looking at a cursor moving around a screen.
I would say that is my biggest critique of the video itself, is there's just the suspense just doesn't build up enough, right? Definitely, like when I once edited it, it's like I didn't, and there's just not enough there to really feel like on the edge of your seat, which is what the whole point, That's why I chose that music, right? Because it's supposed to ramp up. Bam, 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 bam. And another thing that I was like, I just didn't have enough boxes too, right?
Okay.
There's just like 6 or 7, and it's not really like, the whole idea is that this is what this guy does. That's the same. There should have been just like countless boxes in there.
Yeah, like it would be fun with a lot more boxes.
Yeah.
And then, it also might be fun, like, you start off seeing a little bit of cognitive dissonance. So we're like, you have a box and you like, you see your displeasure, excuse me, or just the buyer's remorse. And then that's the first one we see disappear. So it kind of gets our foot in the door. And then we see you maybe look at the one again and you kind of, and that one goes away. Then you kind of stop considering it, almost like you lose your conscience, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, so that's a better way to ramp it up.
You
right?
start reacting less and less, and then if you really want to like show where like you start breaking down and getting carried away before the computer takes off without you, you start finding weird crap around your house and just start boxing it. So like like you get a glass to have a glass of water, and you go back and you open the cupboard again and. The next thing you know, you grab a glass and you see you pack in a box, or the same thing, you're putting your shirt on in the morning, and then you look over and you just like grab a t-shirt, kind of, we see you putting it in a box.
Yeah.
So you just start,
you see bam, 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 bam. So you see everything build up.
Yeah.
Oh no, would you still want? So the way you're describing it now, that's when you would see the boxes building up as opposed to disappearing. Then right, because if I'm wrapping it up, then you would connect it. Right, because you see me looking at something, you know what, I don't like it. I'll box it up, put it on the table.
But even then, I wonder if that just it goes back on the same table where things were disappearing, and then we see those start disappearing too. I don't know, but I don't think you want to see them build up, because it just is a weird thing, unless you came up with like some kind of like how do you tell the story like the boxes are building up but someplace else? Do we show them somehow at the post office?
Oh, yeah, that's the way to go right there. Like,
something like that.
Yeah.
So I just, what was obvious is they were building up in your place, and it's like that's where the disconnect was. But if they're building up someplace else, you're telling the story.
Yeah, and I think that's the perfect way to get the best of both worlds there. Like even if you see the post office worker like reacting, oh, it's another box, and bam, 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 bam.
That could be kind of neat.
Yeah. See, there you go, folks. What I tell you, he was the right guy to bring on board for that. One thing, I don't know if I ever told you this, one thing that you have me doing now, because, like I said, one of the things we always talk about is video games, right? And you very much do not like to play the same video game.
No.
Also, you like to move on to the next one.
It's I do it with video games, music, books, food, vacation. Like if I like something, I want to experience like all of it. So I can't get stuck on one thing. It's just like, even compare, like I can't go to a restaurant, order the same thing every time, even if I love it. Really? Because it's just like, well, what if they have other amazing things? I need to see the other amazing things. So I have to go through most of the menu. I mean, I know what I don't like, but I don't. Like there's vacations my wife and I have gone on, and she's like, I want to go back. It's like, until we hit 20 more countries, I can't go back there. So I'm not joking either. So with a video game, it's just like, I don't want to get all the bonus content and all the DLC and every side quest. I'll do some side quests, but ultimately it's like, okay, I need to experience this game. and fully enjoy it, but then get to the next game I can enjoy because I gotta try them all.
Yeah. So
I
do you
digressed. I'm sorry.
think that kind of lends to your creativity and being able to come up with a bunch of different ideas is because you're exposing yourself to so many different things? Whereas like someone like me, you know, I've beaten Mass Effect 3 like 20 times, Arkham Knight, like, because when I love something, I just really love it. I just want to experience it again and again and again. But at the same point, I know, like, in terms of anyone who has to do any sort of creative output, the more input you get, the more you can output, the more variety of input that you expose yourself to.
I think it's really important, like really, really important. You know, I know a lot of creatives that are pretty obsessive with even just seeing TV commercials. You know, they'll watch reels of TV commercials or TV commercial award shows, which, you know, do exist, and weird stuff like that. And they use that for inspiration. For me, when I see that stuff, it removes my inspiration. It does the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just like, it's impossible to see something and not have traces of it left on your brain. There's always trace elements. And to me, it pollutes the purity of your thinking. So you start accidentally associating something with what another brand told you should associate it with. And for me, I find it limiting to my thinking.
But isn't all of our thinking is influenced by everything we've seen, right? I mean,
But I don't want to see somebody else make a connection for me for a commercial.
oh,
Is what I'm
specifically
saying.
for commercials.
I'm talking specifically commercials. It's the one thing that I can't get inspired by because I feel like it pollutes the thinking, which is probably different than how most people feel.
Well, you know what? I think that's a good thing, because actually something I either watched a video or read a book on it is like, you know, if you're looking for inspiration, you shouldn't really look in places where most people will look for it. Like, if you want to make great YouTube videos, you probably really shouldn't look at YouTube. You should look at other, like, you know, artistic forms so that you can be more unique, think a little bit more out of the box, like you said, so it's not polluted. You'll end up doing things that are just so similar to everyone else if you go to the usual places for inspirations. And that's your thinking right there.
Exactly. So like movies, I find very inspirational, whether it's, you know, techniques I want to use later when directing, or things that give me, you know, cues like, ooh, this would be cool to think about considering this brand or this product. And then same thing, you know, like reading books. I think you know how much I like to read. Reading's huge. Video games are a huge influence on me. My travels.
So do you do it intentionally as part of, like you said, just exposing yourself to other things so that you could be more creative, or is just really your nature? You know what? I just want to try out something.
It's my nature. And it helps me radically creatively, but I do it for the sake of doing it, not for the sake of creative. Because I would love to just retire and just do nothing but adventures, including reading. Right? But
that's kind of what I'm trying to do already.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, you know, you mentioned I was an art director, but I've always art directed and wrote, like, since literally my first job out of college. I was actually still in college, but I've always done both. But I have worked with writers, but the last 6+ years of my career, I've done all my own writing, and then like the last 2, I've stopped art directing. Like I don't touch design anymore. I don't have time, so now I just write everything. And I'm sorry if I'm going down a weird rabbit hole.
No, this is perfect. This is good. A lot of people would be interested in this.
It's blown my mind when I work with writers, and I'll say to them, you know, because you know how much I like to read. Yeah. I'm always like, if I find a fellow reader, I talk about books a lot, and so I'll ask a writer, like, you know, even in our field, like, you know, you read any good books lately? You have any recommends? And they'll say, I don't really read books, and it's like, why are you a writer? Go away. Go read some books and come back when you've been educated. Because to me, it's like a professional basketball player saying, well, you know, I've never watched a basketball game before. It's like, what?
So what books are you reading right now?
Right now, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh, classic. Huh?
Classic, yeah.
Is it your first time reading it?
It is my first time reading it. It's fun. It's fun. You know, it's interesting because it was written, I want to say in the late 1800s. I think it was written around 1890. I could be wrong. It could have been like 1905. But I mean, it's in that pocket, right? But as I read it, you know, you have to really contextually put your mind in that place in history. And it's like, this book must have scared the crap out of people when it came out. Like, it had to be horrifying. Like I'm a little amused at points, but it's because like, the day and age we live in, it's like
Yeah, I mean,
we see TV
the
commercials.
bar for something that's horrifying is so high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's things on TV commercials today that they wouldn't have allowed in movies 50 years ago. So when you think about a book that was written in the 1800s, it had to be really freaky stuff.
So it just basically just puts like a smirk on your face more than it scares you.
A smirk, like, my how we've fallen as a society and as human beings. But just the way people react is like everything's so ghastly. But it's like someone will see like a scary looking face that someone would make, and it would disturb them for the next 2 days. And it's like, okay, all right, man, you need a hug.
People are so fragile, huh?
But
I mean, I noticed that back at the office. I'm not going to name the company, and I remember I got in trouble for asking. I don't know if they were the training people, but they say, "Hey, is the food available for everyone else?" Because they get the food for people onboarding, and then I would ask, "Oh, is it okay if other people, get some of it?" Because usually there's leftovers, and they let everyone
it's
have.
always leftovers.
Yeah, so I guess I don't know if I asked too much every time I saw it, but. All of a sudden, like I remember the next day, there's a big like company email. You can no longer ask them if there's
like an email to 1,000 people because Mike upset somebody.
Yeah, but you said they mentioned me specifically to you, right?
They did. They did.
Like you can't even fucking ask people. Are you serious?
People are precious these days.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
People are
just
precious.
Asking a question: hey, is it okay for other people to get the food now?
No, that was kind of insane.
I was like, oh.
No,
I knew it was because of me, because it's just a coincidence. The next day, there's an email to the whole company.
It was you. I definitely know that, but it was you.
I feel like all the things you must have had
what a ridiculous thing.
Yeah, it is ridiculous, right?
But you know what? I was guilty of it too.
But I guess maybe I was the straw that broke the camel's back on it. Who knows?
Probably. But it's funny. It is funny.
What's funny is I think I know exactly who the person is who lodged the complaint.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're just goes to show you how fragile people are. And like, I guess for me, you, Robert, because we all pretty much have we can't be offended for the most part. And our humor is that way in the way we talk to people, so kind of like the three of us together. It's kind of like a walk in time bomb.
Well, and it's beyond humor. It's just like the three of us. What is it? What is the word I'm looking? There's no pretense.
Yeah.
So when we talk to people, like we don't even necessarily mean anything by it. Just like when you were just like, "Hey, is anyone gonna eat those sandwiches? Can I have a sandwich?" Like I can't think of anything more innocent than that. But like that was. The fact that that's shocking behavior,
Well, I think I traumatized her.
Traumatized, absolutely. Yeah. She went home, cried to her husband, withered in his arms.
Yeah. Do you remember that movie? And it made me think of it because you're talking about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes.
Did you like it?
No, and that was the worst. Like
really?
that rubber suit that Mr. Hyde wore, like. It was an embarrassment. Okay, that was an embarrassment to special effects. And I really hope that whoever did that costume went back to like Halloween America for their 1 month behind the counter selling costumes so kids can celebrate pagan customs in the world.
You see, I love that movie.
Horrible. And I hear a lot of people say that.
It's such a great adventure. I had a great time. It was fun.
Oh, God.
You know what? I really turn off my brain when I watch these things. If it's just a fun ride, all right,
I can do that. But with that one, I just I was so offended that they actually. It's just like when which X-Men movie was it? The awful one with Archangel.
Oh, 3. Oh, that was horrible.
But and this ties into what I was going to say. I'm going to do a non-COVID cough if you give me a second.
You want me to get you some water?
I could probably use more coffee in a second, but are we allowed to stop the production for a moment?
And then we'll continue. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't know the rules.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I don't know the rules.
I know you're always so hard on yourself in the looks department, but your track record says otherwise, my friend.
You know, if I'm good at advertising and I can sell the product.
I mean, granted, charisma is a big part of it. I think people would be surprised how far a guy can go on charisma and charm in terms of getting ladies.
Well, that's how I feel. You know, a lot of, especially, and I guess we're gonna have to go back to the other topic that we were on earlier with the X-Men and Dr. Jekyll, but or Dr. Hyde. I think a lot of good-looking guys know they're good-looking, and they don't know how to treat women with respect. Like it's almost just like, well, you're lucky because I'm here. You know, just gassed on. And then I think a lot of guys that aren't attractive at all, guys, not particularly good looking, chubby, they're just afraid to talk to women a lot of times because of socially how this world has treated them. So then there's this group of guys that are in the middle that aren't afraid because, they've just kind of coasted by, but they're also not arrogant because they're not. And I think that's the sweet spot to be.
Yeah, it's a perfect place to be in.
And if you're in that spot and you can talk to a woman without being nervous and you have no reason to be arrogant, that's a win right there. And I think that's what women want. Just someone just to talk to them and appreciate them and respect them and think more of them than they think of themselves, which I mean, really is how we're supposed to treat everybody we talk to be honest.
There's sure respect does help, but a part of it is that not being afraid of them, not being intimidated. I think that goes a long way just in terms of them respecting you as a man.
Yeah.
Right? Because, there's nothing more off-putting for a woman. And since I'm a man, so I'm an expert on the woman's perspective, obviously.
You're an absolute expert.
No, but obviously, I've talked to, female friends.
Yeah.
And my wife. And then you can see it in a guy, too, when you just know, that this girl's never going to take him seriously as a guy. He just has no chance whatsoever.
It's interesting, too, because even that, it's like different places and cultures. It's different, right? Yeah, there's different cultures around the world with like what a man's supposed to be. And then even like there's different ways that men act throughout the United States. Like I've noticed, I'm originally from Michigan. The men in the Midwest, and God, I'm sorry, viewers. The men in the Midwest are manlier than the men out here.
Oh,
they really are. I'm not saying that they necessarily look it, but it may not even be a good thing. It may not even be a good thing, but there's definitely a touch more of femininity to the men
in California.
Oh,
for sure.
Than in Michigan.
California is synonymous. I mean,
yeah, and it's not an insult at all, but it does lead to boys staying boys longer and becoming men later, and not knowing how to talk to a woman as a man. There's a difference of coming to a woman as a man versus coming to a woman as a boy, right? And they don't want a boy.
I don't know. I haven't come to a woman in a long ass time. I've been with my wife for 14 years.
Yeah, but you had to watch guys approach girls in the past.
Oh, there's nothing I love more than watching guys
delightful.
approach girls and crashing. Oh, it's
crash and burn.
Yeah, it's so entertaining,
dude. But it's also funny when it works and it shouldn't. Like, I pulled into that Walmart near your house.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that far, right? That Walmart.
Yeah, it's not that far.
So I went to that Walmart, and I wanted to buy a He-Man toy, if you must know.
Oh, yeah, you've got your collection.
They've re-released He-Man toys.
The original He-Man?
Yeah, they're a little more. They can move more. They have more articulation points. They're a little better designed. Okay. But I had to have some He-Man, so I went to buy a couple to put in the office, and I'm walking the parking lot, and there's this guy in his Camaro. And there's a woman walking to go into the store, and he's obviously leaving, and he's got his window down so he can holler at her. Mm-hmm. And there's like a line of cars stuck behind him.
Oh, God.
And he won't go faster than she's walking.
My Lord.
And he wouldn't give up till he got the digits, and he got them. Mm-hmm. Now, whether or not they're real, I don't know, but it blew my mind. It's like either this guy is awesome or he's scum, and I still don't know. I guess what he said would make the difference, and I wasn't there to hear. So maybe he's just awesome scum. I'm not sure.
I have to imagine that she just gave him the number just so that he would go away.
But you don't know.
And it's probably
you never know.
If I had a bet, I would bet on that. The thing about like getting numbers is like I said, I've been with my wife for 14 years, so I can't really say maybe it's a completely different world now. But from my experience, getting numbers are easy. If you go up there, you ask with conviction and confidence, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that number. It's what happens after getting the number. That's,
But see, that goes back to what you're saying.
dance.
Just going up and asking for a number, like when I was talking about boys,
Yeah.
they beat around the bush. They're kind of afraid. But just to be straightforward. Being straightforward is exuding for lack of a term, that manliness I was talking about. It isn't about being machismo. It's about being confident as yourself as a human. So I'm not talking about the tropes of being male. Mm-hmm. Just when I say a man, it's the same like what I would say about being a woman. There's a difference between a girl and a woman and a boy and a man. And I think it's just being a woman or being a man and just stepping up.
Being an adult.
Being an adult. And there's a difference. And it's very adult to be like, you know what? I'd really like to have your number because meeting for coffee could be cool. Let's see if we get along. And it's that simple.
Yeah, and what girls, you don't seem creepy at all.
No,
And if she even finds you a little bit attractive, they're more likely going to say yes to something like that. There you go, folks. You just saw the master working his game. That was amazing.
Was that you?
Yeah, I'm talking about you. I was about to give you my number. But you already have my number.
I have it.
Yeah.
And some compromising photographs that you texted me when you were drunk.
What's fascinating is you're talking about just being like straight up front is when I lived in the Philippines, and I was in my 20s. I was dating a lot. I was in my 20s, just trying to have fun and really looking for someone. And one thing, like every single girl that I went out with, mind you, when I say I went out with, doesn't mean I was in a relationship with them. I'm talking about literally just went out on a few dates with. They would always say that they were so relieved that I asked them out because it was just straight up front what my intentions were. Whereas most guys there, I don't know if it's still that way, is like it would be, oh, do you want to hang out? Or do you want to have company? No, I would just search them. No, I want to take you on a date. My intentions are to be more than friends.
And that's adult. So that's what I meant by saying being a man. Yeah. And it is. It applies to men or women. So it's just being an adult. And that was an adult thing to do. And I think that's if you're a man, you want to date a woman, act like an adult.
Have you ever been asked out by a woman or a girl?
Yeah.
Really? See, that's something I've never experienced. See, that's it. You put yourself down a lot, but here you go. You've been asked out by the other side.
I mean,
See, so humble. Does it make you feel uncomfortable to hear this?
No, it doesn't make me uncomfortable. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. I could just see people watch this rolling their eyes like nobody asked him out.
You're so hard on yourself, Joe. You're self-deprecating. Yeah.
But, it's weird to me. I mean... It's strange when I think of the whole dating thing too, because it's been broken up in my life.
Yeah.
Because
you've been in.
I don't even like saying it, but I've been in 3 long-term relationships, and so there wasn't a lot of dating in between. In fact, before I met my wife, who I'm married to now, I had sworn off women.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me that you were done.
I was done, and to the point where it was weird. My viewpoint was almost asexual. I could see a woman and know she was beautiful. But it was the same knowledge of knowing that my cat is pretty. You know what I'm talking about?
Really?
Just that's aesthetically pleasing.
Fascinating.
But there was no desire, no attraction. It just died. Just full interest in female in that capacity was lost.
So what happened with Celine that turned that around?
I don't know. I mean, I know that's a really weak answer. But the answer too, the further I go into it, in wax poetic, it's almost like a cliche. I was at an event and I was out in the parking lot looking for my friend. I lost track of him. I didn't know if he was inside or outside. There was a couple hundred people. Mm-hmm. So I was looking for where he went because I was hungry and I wanted to go get dinner. And I looked, and near the entrance there was this woman standing there, and she was backlit, and there was a full moon, and some backlight, and then a little touch on the side of her face from the and I just saw, and she's tall and elegant, and from a distance it just caught my eye. I was like, wait a second, what is this? and then I was getting closer, and I was just looking at the transfixed really, and I'm just looking at her, and I was wow. And then I got closer and I saw like how attractive I really thought she was. Then I was like, whoa. And then I saw she was actually, and I hadn't even noticed because I was so busy looking at her, that she was talking with my other buddy's wife. In fact, the guy I was looking for, he and I were going to go out to dinner that night with another couple.
Okay.
Not that we were a couple, me and the guy, but so we were going out with this couple that night. So they were talking. She was talking to my friend's wife, my other friend's wife. This probably all translated poorly. I confused.
No, I'm following.
It was a bad story thus far. So
not great, but I can follow.
It's not great. But I realized they were talking together, and I actually felt really mad at my friend's wife because all I could think is like, how could she know that she exists and not have told me about this?
But they knew that you were asexual, I'm assuming, at that point.
It doesn't matter. When something that special is in existence, everybody should know. It's just like if somebody catches a dragon, there needs to be a press release. Like, we've caught a dragon. Everyone deserves a chance to see a dragon. It's amazing. So if you know that this single woman exists, I don't care what I've said in the past. Unless I've said I'm blatantly homosexual and I don't like women, I should know about that woman. And I was just really put off.
I have a feeling that you were very adamant about being asexual.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make the dragon. Just go with the illustration.
So does Celine know this whole backstory?
She does.
Oh, that must make her feel really good.
I would like to think so. I mean, she did marry me.
I would imagine, right?
She did marry me.
What person, let alone woman, wouldn't, feel flattered by a story like that?
So yeah, I just like, it was the first time since since I split with my ex-wife that I didn't just see someone and be like, oh, she's aesthetically beautiful, but where I felt attraction. So my buddy's wife did realize that I showed an unusual amount of attention to her that I've never shown a woman in her presence.
You see your angry eyes burning into her.
So she was like, hey, do you want to join us for dinner? So she came out with us that night. Okay. And then it's like, I couldn't believe how much we had in common. It was like, whoa, this is weird. Like obscure industrial bands that I liked. And, she's played video games. So I was like, that's odd.
Yeah, this model legitimately loves playing video games.
Yeah, so...
I would argue even more than you.
She definitely loves it more than I do. And I like my video games.
Yeah.
Anyways, and that she's an artist and that she's well-read and, really all the things that I was into. Yes. Yeah. And I was blown away. And I was like, never in my life have I met a woman and felt this attraction and this kind of dual interest. So I didn't want to give up on giving up on women. So I hid from her for months. I hid. If I knew she was going to be somewhere, I wouldn't go because I knew she was irresistible to me. And I was just like, no, I'm done with women. I'm not doing this. So I hid. I literally hid. It was so cowardly and pathetic. See, I was being a boy. The man was gone. There was no adult. There was a child hiding under the bed because there was lightning and thunder. And and I hid. Yeah. So.
And then what finally broke that hiding phase?
Ultimately, I just had to feel better about myself. I had to get to know me better and get to spend more time alone and feel contentment and feel good about life and just feel great about everything. And once I felt great about everything, it was like just around that time, and I got an email from her, a text message saying her boss needed help with the logo and asked me if I'd help. So I was just like, I'll help you if I can take you out to dinner. Can I take you out to dinner?
Ooh, that's a bold move because that could very much be taken the wrong way.
She can take it how she wanted to take it.
Yeah.
But then I fell off a cliff, and I didn't get to take her out.
He literally fell off a cliff. We're not talking metaphorically. He really did fall. What was the cliff? Angel Falls or something?
It was Salmon Falls.
Salmon Falls.
Off of Highway 1, yeah. So because I was going on vacation that upcoming weekend, and then she was going to be on vacation the next weekend. Uh-huh. So we, unfortunately, was like, okay, let's get together in 3 weeks. So we were going to go out to dinner, and before that happened, I fell. So I get a text message from her, like, when I'm in a recovery ward at Stanford Hospital, and she's like, I heard you got hurt. I guess we can't go out to dinner. I was like, I got hurt really bad. I was like, but I'll be doing rehab and living at a rehab facility in San Francisco. Can you come see me? And, so she did. And she, now I'm married. But it was really, sexy when she came in the room the first time to see me. There was a sign, and I kid you not, this big behind my head that says in font, no, like the letters like this tall, 100% incontinent. So
You might probably made her feel safe.
I wouldn't feel safe knowing that poo could happen at any moment in my presence. That's not safe. That's not a safe zone. That's a danger zone. So,
But you got it under control now somewhat.
I mean, no, there was no control. So it was really embarrassing when, we'd be talking and then we'd hear a noise.
So it actually happened while you were talking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because at
Did
that.
you smell it, or is it going directly
Oh, yeah.
to?
Oh, no. I was in a diaper.
And she stuck around through all
She
of
stuck
that.
around. So, because, you have to remember, I had to relearn how to use my legs. My whole lower half had to be retrained.
Yeah.
So I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. And, you would just hear the noise. And then.
Well, you had to know her interest level was pretty high then. Either that, or she's just like the typical polite Asian that just can't say no, or
There was probably some of the polite Asian. And then, it must have been kind of funny having this guy that's like stoned all day because of all the painkillers that I was intravenously
shitting
being
his
injected
pants
with.
while he's talking
Yeah.
to
So
him.
like, a guy that's really high and ridiculous pooping his pants talking to you. I mean, that's a freaking podcast. You want a podcast? Just like,
How long were you in rehab?
I was living at a rehab facility for 2 months,
That's a long.
but it was supposed to be 4.
Okay, so you made it out. Yeah, with your usual Spartan work ethic.
They
got out of there.
actually, I'm not exaggerating. People were coming to see like doctors and surgeons that were part of the hospital because they wanted to meet me because they said that they've never seen a case like me, like ever.
Yeah, you're just a genetic freak.
I was determined. When we would have PT sessions, because the pain was extraordinary because of all the things that were
On a
broken.
scale of 1 to 10, it's 10.
It was a 10 at all times.
Really?
Yeah. So while I was doing my PT, I would press myself until I went unconscious. Every day. And the PT team hated it because nobody does that. You're not supposed to.
Yeah,
But my
they're afraid
thing
they're
was
gonna
like,
lose you. You're
but
passing out.
when I used to lift weights, it was you press yourself to full fatigue. Like if you pass out at the gym, you pass out. If you vomit at the gym, you vomit at the gym. But you go to full fatigue. So when I was doing PT, I was going to full fatigue, and that meant my eyes rolled back and I hit the floor. So it was interesting. But and then when we weren't in real sessions, I would make up exercises in my room and work out all day. So.
Do you think part of that too, I'm sure because you wanted to get out of there, but part of it just helps keeps you mentally strong too, right? Like you're doing something about it. You're not just a victim.
Yeah. And, I was angry. I was really mad.
Who sounds very Batman.
But I was mad. I was so mad that happened to me. And I was missing out on raising my son. And that made me extraordinarily angry. And now some girl that I have this woman that I have this amazing crush on is watching me poop my pants. I was angry, dude. I was angry. And you could do a lot when you're mad. And I was like the Hulk. I was mad the whole time. So
Well, that's right. Hulk is your guy. He's your favorite.
that's my boy.
What is it about the Hulk? So you must have hated the last Avengers movie then and what they did with Hulk.
They started before that. Like, they used the Hulk as a way to get over other superheroes. That's what he really was, So, like, how do we make Iron Man super awesome? We have him make a Hulkbuster suit and knocks the Hulk out. Okay, how do we show everybody how strong Thor got with that second Thor movie or third Thor movie? We're going to have him just about to kill the Hulk and then we'll stop him. How do we show everybody how tough Thanos is? We have him beat the Hulk into submission. I mean, really, like it's like, why did you do that? Like,
They completely nerfed him.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. So
Although I feel like in the first Avengers movie, that was the first one where I felt like, they really let Hulk just be Hulk and smash everyone.
I agree. I was so excited. It was like they figured out how to do Hulk.
Yeah.
The punch on Thor. Like, it was clear no one was going to beat him. Like when that giant thing was
his
going
epic
toward
thing,
him.
and he's like, I'm always angry.
And he just hits
throws
it
that
once.
Punch. Yeah.
We had the Hulk finally.
Yeah.
And then they neutered him.
Yeah, that's like that. What they did with him in the last one, while I enjoyed it, because like I said, I'll just turn my brains off. I'll turn the fanboy off, and I enjoy it for what it is. But like, I was really looking forward to a rematch between Thanos and Hulk.
Yeah.
Like that's the arc I wanted to see. Was
Turning it into this whole like Thor is going to be the one to stop him, I think was a missed opportunity. You know, or it could have been a dual thing.
Well, they
where
turned
like, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, go.
Or you know, Thor gets the hammer. You know, the new hammer he forged. I forget what the name of it.
Stormbringer?
Yeah, Storm, whatever. And then Hulk is like re-enraged, and like the two of them go like full berserker on Thanos. That'd have been dope.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
Like full on berserker, because now Thanos has all the gems, so he's basically God, and they still destroy him. And then at the last minute, he does the snap. That would have been that
would have been amazing, because they got on this whole like bet about making Captain Marvel the strongest person. In
that
the
was their
Marvel
big thing
universe,
too.
right?
Yeah,
It's like no, Hulk is it's like infinitely strong. You get the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets.
well.
That would have been amazing. Hulk and Thor teaming up on Thanos.
And it's like, you know, if you ever read the comic books, because, you know, I'm a nerd in all things nerdy, and you read the World War Hulk series. I don't know if you read that.
No, I love that. That was like one of the best comic arcs I've ever read.
And, you know, he comes to Earth and he wrecks everybody. And I loved, they did the reverse of the Avengers movie. When he finally gets to Earth, they know they're in trouble. Because, you know, they sent him away to that other planet, which was also a great series.
I thought I
Planet
did
Hulk.
enjoy Planet Hulk more than World War
I did too.
I think
I did too.
Planet Hulk is a masterpiece.
It was. That's one of the best arcs in comic history,
Yeah.
for me at least. And you know, so he's back. So the first thing they do is Iron Man makes the super suit when they found he's coming. It's like more than the usual Hulkbuster. It's supposed to be unstoppable, and it's the origin. I don't know if you remember this of Hulk coming back to Earth, and he's on that spaceship thing or whatever they were on, and he just jumps out of it in the atmosphere, and he's falling to Earth, and then you see that Iron Man coming up to stop him. And then you just see Hulk getting up out of the rubble, and there's no Iron Man. And it was just like, that's it. This is how it's going to begin. Then he beat the X-Men to a pulp. He beat, like, nobody stood a chance. Then they even invented a hero, the Sentry. Do you remember that? Who was supposed to be like Marvel's Superman.
Sentry was already around, but even before that.
You know what? You're right. I'm getting my timeline mixed up. But he wasn't around long before that.
No, he's been around for a long time. He's just one of those who's like not used a lot. But he's kind of like one of these characters where I don't know if they ever really figured him out, because he's strong as like a million.
Yeah, he's too strong.
He's way too strong, right? But they also made him have like mental problems where he has
which was kind of fun.
Split personality. It's fun, but they never kind of really figured out how to play him, and they very much used him like he killed Ares, he defeated Thor, and that kind of
Because he was unreasonably strong.
Yeah.
But if you recall, then like he couldn't stop Hulk. So it was like, you know, they had to use like some special cannon thing, and you know, this guy that's like their Superman essentially, and they had to use that combination to stop him. And it's like now it's like he's getting beat by everybody in the Marvel universe though, and I'm sure they're going to alter the comic book soon to make everybody beat him up. You know, next thing you know, we're going to see, you know, I don't know, whoever they want to push over the top next, but
because I haven't read World War Hulk. I mean, those are hard words for a nation to say. World War.
It's not easy for anyone to say.
Because the way I remember the ending is they didn't defeat him like Hulk. Like at the end when he can like really just kill him, he just said, "No, this is all just to teach you guys a lesson," and he decided to stop.
He kind of stopped,
right?
but then they blasted him with that thing.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, there was like this special cannon thing or something, and maybe I'm a little mixed up, but there was a special cannon thing. We both have to look this up. Unfortunately, my stack of those is in Michigan, but
were you a fan when Amadeus Cho took over?
I didn't dig it.
It just wasn't the same, right?
No. You know, it lacked the tragedy. You know, Banner's a tragic being. You know, even when he was like a regular human, he was misunderstood. He was beaten as a child. He was a nerd. He wasn't liked. You know, he got a job where he was ostracized, where he worked beside people in the military. They hated him. He was just like this tragic, pathetic guy. And
is that what appealed to you? That kind of,
you know, I like the duality
he's the strongest,
of it.
Yeah.
It's
mistreated, disrespected, treated wrong, and at the other end, he's the strongest being in the world.
And because I mean, that's how it should be for everybody, right? You know what I mean? Like nobody should have to be this downtrodden, beaten, treated poorly human being. Like nobody. Like we should all be equal. So at least the Hulk has a way to say, you know, all right, if he can't be equal, how you like me now? And that's kind of dope.
So that's why he's your favorite.
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
That's interesting. Anyway, let's get back to what you were saying about those X-Men movies.
Oh yeah, because it was tying into the whole Mr. Hyde thing.
Yeah.
So in the third one, they had that Juggernaut.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing, a big rubber suit with this little head. It looked so stupid. And it was just like, was it the same guy that did Mr. Hyde from League Extraordinary? Like giant rubber suits with little human heads sticking out the top don't work. I mean, just go Lou Ferrigno and find a guy and paint him. But don't.
Well, they went the completely other way in Deadpool 2 with Juggernaut. He was freaking...
He's CGI, isn't he? Because I haven't seen those.
He's CGI. Oh, you haven't seen any of the Deadpool movies?
I haven't.
Oh, man, those are great.
Let me ask you a question then, because I was actually talking to my dad on the way here. Have you seen Hunt for the Wilder People?
No. What's that?
It's a movie you need to see. Viewers at home watching this podcast, watch Hunt for the Wilder People. No, for real.
Is it on Netflix or?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It just got on Netflix.
Okay.
And if you've got kids, anybody, I'm just talking to your audience.
You don't.
If you got it's the opposite. If you've got kids, I'd say about 10 and older, watch it with your whole family.
Is it the animated one?
Nope.
No.
It's like, like some movies, they'll have like adult humor at times, but it's still a kid's movie, but it's also like Goonies to a degree.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Goonies, but a little more adult in that context of, but it's, it's not like a treasure hunt. It's nothing like that. It's mostly about this misbehaved kid that was in and out of the system with juvie. And like, this is his last shot at a family. And he ends up with this elderly couple like in New Zealand that lives out in the bush, like adopt him. And the old guy's like this old grump and he just hates that his wife adopted this kid and she dies and they're stuck together.
Oh.
And I didn't give anything away, don't worry. And then there's this crazy adventure that they end up on an accident.
Ooh.
And it's hysterical. And it's directed well and it's written well and it's just
Are there any big stars in it, or is this an independent?
I don't think there's any big stars. But it's extraordinary. It's one of my favorite movies of the last decade.
It's that good, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be added to my never-ending Netflix list.
Like I put it right to the top of the queue. I'm telling you, it will delight you, and it'll go by fast because it's just such a fun movie to watch.
Really?
Yeah, my son and I have watched it a few times together. He was watching it on his phone the other night just because he wanted to see it one more time. So I was sitting there playing video games next to him. He's watching it, and I could hear all the dialogue. We're still just cracking up together.
It's that good.
It's really that good. So I finally got my mom and dad to watch it because it's for all ages, man. And my mom texted me. She's like, "Your father and I are literally crying." She's like, "This is so wonderful."
Wow.
So, anyways, the reason I brought it up is it's the same dude who made Jojo Rabbit.
Oh yeah. Taika Waititi, I don't know.
Yeah, because he's from New Zealand, right?
Yeah, he's from New Zealand.
But didn't he do the Deadpool movies?
No, he did Thor Ragnarok.
That's the one he did. Okay, I knew
Thor
he did one
Ragnarok
of them.
was awesome.
Yeah, other than the fact, the Hulk incident.
Yeah, I know how you feel about Hulk.
Great movie, but so he doesn't usually do the superhero action movies. He usually does movies like Jojo Rabbit, which, did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God, that's brilliant too.
Yeah.
I mean, Imaginary Friend Hitler, how do you beat that?
Yeah.
But, so if you like the Thor movie, they're both better than Thor, quite frankly. But the best one is Hunt for the Wilder People.
Okay, I gotta watch that. Yeah, I am a fan of his. Like, I very much respect. You know how he got started as a filmmaker? I was watching this video on him, I think last week, and because he's an actor as well. Obviously, he acts in his movies, but he was just purely an actor at one point, and he just got fed up with only being cast in like these. Basically, as a hoodlum. I think he very much got typecasted as that because he's good looking, but he kind of looked mean. He had a good body. He was always just cast as as a bad guy, and he just got so sick of it that he says, "You know what? I'm just going to start writing for myself, my own parts, and make my own movie." And so he spent 2 months writing his first. I think it was a short film. And it ended up winning an Oscar, and
that's amazing.
And it just took off from there. But just from that one decision, like fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself and create my own opportunity.
All right, let me write us a movie.
And it all worked out.
Me and your Robert will film it. We'll write it. Let's win an Oscar.
That's like to me that's something that speaks to me personally, because the way like my whole life, but particularly like the video career, like hardly anyone really gave me opportunities. I always had to like, especially starting out, I couldn't get hired anywhere. I couldn't get a client anywhere, which is understandable. You start out, you don't have anything in your portfolio, you don't know anyone. So so I had to make those opportunities for myself. I made specs. I PA'd where I could, so I could meet people who could work on these specs with me, because you need a crew.
Right.
And then slowly but surely, I just got my reel and portfolio up to the point where I could start landing my own clients.
Right.
But even then, in terms of like the full-time gigs, always had a hard time with those, getting the opportunity for those. But, it did get to the point, because once you do get your reel to a certain level, your portfolio to a certain level, it kind of becomes undeniable, and certain opportunities do come your way. But it was always a struggle for me. Was it a struggle for you at all, like coming up in the artistic world? Or you just pretty much were going right from graduation?
No, no, there was never a struggle. I mean, I tried to do my own business for about a year in Michigan, and it went pretty good, but there is reasons it didn't work out, which is a whole black hole we won't go down. But
yeah, I mean, just having your own business in general, there's so many pitfalls and things that can take you
but
down.
it was external.
Okay.
It wasn't basically, my kid was really young. Excuse me, my son was really young, and my ex just wanted me to make more money. She wasn't satisfied with our income, so it was like find a way to make more money or else. And
you did.
Yeah.
And then it still didn't work out.
No. So thank goodness.
You made the right decision there. Huh?
But I mean, that was after BBDO even that I did my own thing. But what's sad is like most businesses don't do okay the first year. Like I did all right the first year. I kept a roof over our head, which isn't easy to do when you say I'm starting an ad agency right now.
Not at all.
And we did it, and I didn't end up owing any debt. I did it, but she wanted more. So it is what it is.
So you've been fairly fortunate right from the beginning. Then I mean, fortunate is a tricky word to say, because obviously your work ethic and your skill goes into it too. But I mean, you can't deny there's always a bit of fortune of luck that plays into things.
Maybe I don't know. I never really thought about it that way. I've always viewed it. I mean, you obviously have to have talent. I mean, it's like I always relate what we do. Being a creative to being a professional athlete. Like, not anybody that likes playing basketball can be in the NBA. Not anybody that wants to be a creative can be a creative. You can be creative, but not a creative, if that makes any sense, like professionally. So I think you obviously have to have that component. And just like sports, there's some people that just have more talent than others. So I think there's the talent half. And then the other half, I think, is just hard work, dedication. That's it. And
I think those all play into it, but there also has to be someone who's willing to give you the opportunity to put all that talent and hard work to use.
To a degree, but it's kind of like you even said, though, like to get noticed, you had to do spec work and stuff. I just always worked hard to be able to show whatever I needed to show to get whatever I needed to get, if that makes any sense.
No, that makes sense. I think it's really just a difference in perspective than more than anything. No, but you know what? I think I'll take that back. I think that's bullshit, because I've known, because especially with production companies, and this is something I kind of harp on, especially when I was struggling, there are production companies out there that were getting tons of work, big clients, and my work is 10 times better than them. So quality of work alone isn't enough.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's not quality work alone.
Work ethic alone isn't enough. So that's what I'm talking about. There is another factor there. I mean, is networking as well. I mean,
to a degree, Okay, yeah, I suppose there's a level of luck, and I think there's more luck for what you do than what I do.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why is that?
the advertising door is different. You know, getting into an agency, you know, they first call through the resumes, and then they look at your portfolio. And if your portfolio is good, you're always going to get a call. I mean, and then if you can, you know, if you can interview well, there's no luck in a good interview. There's no luck in a good portfolio.
I think there's luck in getting the interview.
Not if the portfolio is good enough and the resume is good enough.
Because I'll tell you, before I landed at the agency that you're at now, I think I was looking for like a year and a half.
Oh my goodness.
Year and a half, maybe 5 or 6 interviews. Of those 5 or 6 interviews, maybe half of them, you know, I was on the last tier. But yeah, I was looking for a year and a half.
Wow.
I mean, it was really, I took the job to save my marriage. We needed that stability. And it was, you know, it was unfair to Chris because it was like 2017. I just brought her over here to the States. And 2 weeks before she came over, I quit my other full-time gig. Because it's like I was just miserable over there. That's just the kind of guy I am. If I'm miserable, I look at the big picture. It's like I'm only getting older. I'm slowly dying. And we are all slowly dying. So it's like I don't want to spend another second in this place. I'd rather try to do my own thing or go look for happiness elsewhere. But it was really unfair to Chris. Because she's moving to a completely different country, completely different culture.
You gotta take care of her.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's why, okay, I really needed to get a full-time gig. I looked for a year and a half before I landed with you guys. And then it's not as if my portfolio changed in that year and a half. My resume didn't change in that year and a half too. So that's why, like, I really say from experience, it's like, yeah, no, it helps, but it's definitely not enough. There are other forces at play.
Probably. Yeah, I guess in some ways me ending up in California, I guess had luck to it that I ended up here.
I think you got a random call from a video game company, right?
Well, no, from FCB.
What's that?
It's an ad agency.
Okay.
They have offices throughout the world actually, but they were doing the work for EA. And
I remember you thought the phone call was complete
bullshit. It was a joke, yeah, because
yeah.
you know I love video games, man.
You saw one of your buddies, your brothers, playing a practical joke on you.
I did. I think so. I thought someone was messing with me. Yeah, I did it. It's so funny. It was an award show in Michigan, and for advertising, and they wanted to break the night up, so you know they don't just show commercials all night. So they had a contest, and I think it had something to do with the poster and the call of entries. It had number 2 pencils on the poster and call of entries. I even now I don't know the significance of it. I think it was just like, what the heck, you know, they're creatives. They do sketches apparently because they're creatives. So let's put a pencil there.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, I don't think it was deeper than that. So they said, you know, to break the night up, we want to play videos. So the contest is just to have your video shown. Like, there's no award. Just if your video is shown, you're a winner. But it went out to all ad agencies and all film companies. You know, it just through the whole state of Michigan. Anybody that was in the industry could make a short film, and they want them real short. I mean, like 30 seconds. And me and my partner at the time, we produced 3, and I think 2 of them got shown at the show. Do
you remember what they were?
Yeah, I remember what they were.
What were they?
I'll tell you in a second. Yeah. So, you know, I threw them on YouTube. I didn't have a web page. I still don't have a web page, to be honest. I threw them on YouTube, and one of them kind of went pseudo viral, and it ended up on this recruiter's desk, and he saw it, and it cracked him up. And like he saw that I don't even know how he saw it. I think he Googled me or something, found me on LinkedIn. Even now, it's like I don't fully get it, but he found me through that video. That's all I know. And he ended up calling me, and he was just like, "Did you do that video?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I ended up getting a job and leaving Michigan and coming to California, and here I am.
So let's get to it. What were those 2 videos?
So the one that got me the job out here, it was filmed like a black and white silent movie. So it was very grainy with screen popping, and it was it started off with two trees next to each other, and the limbs were intertwined, and like the wind was blowing, so it was kind of like the branches. So and then it cuts to like the what is a word card? What do you call that in between scenes in silent movies?
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know what I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And it says boy tree meets girl tree, and then you see these cut up logs, and it says tragically separated. Then I might be missing some scenes because it's been years. Yeah. And then you see a piece of paper, and then you see a pencil, and then you see a hand pick up the pencil and start writing on the paper. And then it says finally reunited. And then the hand just draws a penis really fast. And then it just says the end. Yeah.
Yeah, the penis definitely throws it over the top.
It does, because like at first,
it's a nice touch.
It's kind of a clever thing.
Yeah, it's like okay, it's clever.
Okay, they're two trees. Yeah. Oh, they fell in love. Oh, they died. Yeah. Oh, they're still alive. They're reunited. Yeah, that's cute. He just drew a penis.
Yeah. It's just like that little added extra silliness that gives it that heart.
Because it seems so serious. Like we did it, and we had this like classical dramatic music playing.
Yeah, that's what I imagined.
And it just like, anyways, I can show you when we're done.
No, that's great.
I'll show you the video.
If I find the link, I'll throw it up at the end of this. That's great.
Yeah,
So what was the second video?
Which was it? Okay, I don't remember which one played, but because we did 3. So one of them is this guy is sitting in his cube, and he's having a conversation with someone else. And as he's talking, he's sharpening pencils and throwing them up into the ceiling. They get stuck up in
Yeah, I remember doing that as a kid.
Yeah, so he just keeps doing it. And then you cut to another guy, which actually was me, walking down the hallway. And then you cut again to him doing it. And his friend says, the guy in the coop says, that's kind of dangerous. And the guy throwing the pencil, he says something like, shut up. And he throws a pencil. And then you cut upstairs and you see a boot hit the ground. And then you see a pencil come out the top and blood's just there. And then you cut to my face and I'm just screaming. And then you cut back downstairs and you hear a muffled scream. And then a drop of blood hits the dude in the face that's throwing the pencils, and he shrugs and throws another one. So there was that one. And you know what? That one did not play. That one did not play. And then the other one was...
it's funny that one doesn't play, but the penis makes it into the cut.
The penis was more clever, though, to be honest.
It is, yeah.
I mean, people really got the point.
The penis is metaphorical. It's a commentary on society, right?
Oh, absolutely. And we're a bunch of creatives. And what's more creative than making life? And you make life with a all So, ultimate creativity.
Yeah, vagina has something to do with it.
Yeah, too. But I mean, like, that's the canvas. The penis is the brush.
There goes. It's a creative.
Yeah.
So, what was the
I want to go home and make some art. Excuse me.
What was the third one?
My wife's going to kill me if she sees it. She's going to kill me.
You think she would watch?
She'll watch and she's going to kill me.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home and start coloring the canvas and she's not going to know what I mean. And then she's going to watch this video and be like...
Is she shy about things like that? Does that embarrass her?
Dude, you've met her. You know she's shy about everything.
That's
about everything.
But that's more. The more I take it just more because it's kind of a social thing, and I know she's not really into it. She's not much of a social person as much as I would be, which I understand that. But I would expect at home, it's a different.
At
story.
home, nobody knows what she's like.
Yeah, that's what I expect. Yeah,
and she's
and that's
full.
fine. Not everyone's.
She's full outgoing at home.
Yeah, not everyone feels comfy in a social situation.
But her private life is private. Mm-hmm. So me talking about this whole canvas and paintbrush business and wanting to go home and make art, she's gonna kill me. She's gonna kill me.
All right. Well, you took one for the team.
I took it for it was for the content, man. So, oh yeah. So the last idea.
Oh, yeah.
You remember The Dark Knight with the Joker?
Oh, of course. I love that
So-
movie.
This guy is working in his office. He's typing away, and this other guy walks in. He says, "You want to see a magic trick?" And the guy rolls his eyes. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna do the Joker." And then while he's mid sentence, the one dude like hammers the pencil down into the desk, which was great. We used, the erasers, the sticky erasers that are like, you know what I'm talking about?
Sticky erasers?
Yeah, those erasers that are like almost like clay.
Are you talking about like the ones that are like rectangular and kind of...
No, they make sticky erasers that are clay, like clay.
No, I
Okay,
don't know what
well,
you're
they
talking
make
about.
those. So we put some at the bottom of unsharpened pencil.
Uh-huh.
So when he smacked the desk, it stayed, right? So it
Okay.
looked like he stabbed it into the desk. She says, "You want to see a magic?" And he smacks down on the desk and it's sticking out. And he turns around and he jumps and he lands on it. He says, "I'm going to make this pencil disappear."
So was he flamboyant like that too?
Oh, no, it wasn't flamboyant at all. But, and we'll watch that one later to you and I. But yeah, he was,
Oh, no, that stuff's right up my alley. It makes me laugh.
yeah.
And the way you guys set it up too was it was very Dark Knight as well.
No, it was more just like this idiot in your office, like coming in and bothering you. Just like, "Oh, he's so stupid."
So
he's
it
so
wasn't
dumb."
obvious that you were playing off the Dark Knight.
No,
so-
it is. It's obvious that we're playing off it, but it's more like the tone wasn't Dark Knight. The tone was, this moron's talking about the Dark Knight. What's he going to do? He's irritating the guy that's trying to do his job. Oh my God, he just stuck a pencil up his butt. So,
When you guys did these videos, did you have a whole team like shooting it and lighting it, or is it just the two of you guys?
it was the two of us, and we were at an agency, so they gave us a cameraman, which was like a junior, kind of like someone more in your position, that films and edits. So he was a junior guy that worked in the film department. I don't mean you're junior, but I'm saying what you do. But just starting off. So he assisted us with a camera the agency owned, but that was it.
So you guys did it on behalf of the agency. It wasn't.
It was turned in on behalf of the agency.
Okay,
yeah.
so it wasn't Joe Lopez turning it in. It was.
Donor turning it in. Yeah, but I mean, other than the two of us and that one guy, so we kind of, if there was lighting, which there wasn't much, we had to do it ourselves. We had to do the sound ourselves. So it was very homemade. But
still, it was showing just because of the creativity of the concept.
they turned out okay.
Yeah. How long ago was this?
8 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, because I remember the game that you came to California for to work on was it Battlefield?
Yeah, is it 3 or 4?
I don't know. Like all those games kind of mashed together to me. Call of Duty, Battlefield, they're all kind of the same for me.
It was the first one. It's so funny, they were calling it Next Gen then, but now the new Next Gen's out. But it was the first Battlefield on Next Gen. So what was funny is that came out on the last console. So what was before the 360? Was it just the regular Xbox and the PS2?
Yeah.
So it came out originally, like when those games are like in the middle of the transition. So it dropped for Xbox and PlayStation 2. But then, what is out right now? PlayStation 3 or 4?
5.
Okay, so PlayStation 3.
Okay.
So it dropped on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. That's what it is.
There you go.
It dropped on those two. And then it screwed things up because people wanted to wait for it to come out on Next Gen because it was coming out on both. So whichever one was during that time period. So I remember we had to do this, like they had like this crisis then after it even dropped because people weren't buying it because they all wanted to wait for Next Gen. So it was like this, like your points and all this other stuff would roll over. So we had to do like this last minute emergency fire drill thing that they wanted to like put out on the internet. So we did this whole commercial spoofing erectile dysfunction. It was pretty amazing.
I don't remember that commercial.
Yeah, it was just online, but it was comparing, not having your stats and stuff cross over to erectile dysfunction, and we did it all with stock footage that was intentionally horribly cheesy. That was fun. Yeah.
Ooh, you know what? I'm getting hungry. I think this is a good place for us, and we've been rolling for a while. And we've probably been
Yeah. I'm sorry if I was boring.
no, not at all. I mean, it doesn't like there's no. I don't want these things to like they don't have to be funny. They don't have to be anything. They're just a hang.
I just feel like, well, number one, I always want to hang out with you, but number two, it's like, like mornings, I'm tired and my medicine is like making me sleepy, and I'm trying to drink coffee to combat that. Like, we need this like at 6 while drinking. Like, let's be for real.
Well, you know me. I don't really drink anymore.
Well, I'll drink yours and mine.
Does that make you feel uncomfortable if let's say you're out with someone and you want to drink but the other person doesn't?
No.
Because for some people it does make them feel it's like, hey, go have at it. Just because I'm not doing it doesn't mean you shouldn't.
No, I actually don't drink much anymore.
You cut down too.
Yeah, I hardly ever drink.
Is that just because you can't really go out anymore?
That's part of it. The other part, it's like, I think it's a slippery slope sitting at home and drinking that often. You almost start limiting yourself when you go out to drink, but when you're just home drinking, I think it can easily get out of control.
And
then
alcoholism.
You can easily start drinking earlier, and then you can gain a lot of weight from it, and gain, just your personality can slowly deteriorate. I just think it's a slippery slope, and I'm not saying for everybody, but for me, I think it'd be a bad decision.
Well, that is like one of the questions they usually ask people if they want to figure out if they're alcoholics is, do you drink by yourself at home?
Well, the irony is I actually like drinking by myself. Like by myself. Like,
it's relaxing.
It's great.
Yeah,
like
it's
if my wife went away for a week, I'd probably drink way more that week. Just because I kind of like just being alone and having a drink and doing my own thing. But now it's like, God, I'll have a drink like once every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
I hardly drink anymore.
Yeah.
So
you miss it at all, or no? It's just your life now. That's how it is.
No, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I just need to have something yummy to drink. Like, I've just yummy.
So what qualifies as a yummy drink for you?
I've been satisfied just getting, like the new big thing is the flavored, bubbly water, seltzer water.
Oh, do you drink White Claw? Is that what it is? The Starbucks White Claw? Those long white cans?
White Claw has alcohol in it.
Does it?
Yeah.
Really? It doesn't taste like it does.
I'm fairly certain it does. Maybe I'm
wrong. They would sell that at Starbucks?
Wait, I'm confused now. We're going to have to look this up. We're going to look this up.
Here we go.
I thought White Claw had booze in it, but maybe...
Hey Siri, does White Claw have alcohol in it?
Here's what I found from wikipedia.org. White Claw is made from a blend of seltzer water, a gluten-free alcohol base, and fruit flavor.
Alcohol base.
Oh yeah. What do you know? Learn something new. I don't like those things. To me, they taste like crap.
But I'm not talking White Claws. I mean the ones without alcohol. So just like the flavored waters. Like when we were where we worked, remember they would be in like, there was cans, the La Croix, for instance.
Yeah. You enjoy those.
I enjoy them. It's just something.
I don't know. How do you drink those? I can't stand those drinks.
I generally put it in my mouth and swallow.
I know. I get that. I get the technical aspect.
Oh, okay. I just,
Oh, there you go. Being clever again.
That was just bad. Apologies.
Well, there's definitely that part of your humor too.
There is. Part of my humor is not funny at all, except for to me.
But sometimes it's so stupid it is funny though.
I am so stupid.
I remember the one joke you had me cracking up with because it's so stupid. Because there's this one guy at the office, his name is Romario, right? Or Romario, something like that. He said, oh, what about his brother, Luigi? And I was like, oh my God. It's so stupid.
It's really stupid.
But I had to laughing because it's just so stupid. But it's so stupid.
I do know it's so stupid.
So that's what makes it funny. It's stupid.
I enjoy really stupid jokes. I'm going to tell you this one just because it upsets my son every time he hears me say it. It's it's so bad. And I may have told you this one. It's one of my originals. Why did Bluto and Popeye fight over olive oil?
I don't know why.
They heard she was extra virgin. And it's terrible. But I love it. And I'm proud.
I should have seen that one coming. That's oh my God, that's hilarious. Speaking of Lex, you ever watch Star Wars Rebels? Are you into Star Wars at all? Do you enjoy that?
I'm starting to feel Star Wars fatigue. Yeah, anyways.
Because like the movies, the original 3, like I thought I enjoyed them, and then I watched them again, and I didn't think they were that good. But of course, Lucas ruined them with all his additions. But the animated series, Clone Wars and Rebels,
Okay, I
It's
haven't
like
seen any
10
of it.
times better than the movies.
Okay.
The stories and the character development's 10 times better. They're really good.
Are they on Netflix?
No, they're on Disney Plus.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that yet.
No, but the reason I brought that up is because the main character, one of the main characters in Rebels, reminds me of Lex.
Oh, that's funny.
Ezra Bridger is a Jedi in training. Yeah, every time I watch it, it's like, I just looks like Lex to me.
That's funny.
It kind of has like that skin tone. Lex is a little bit darker, but he's in that ballpark.
Does everyone know Lex is my son? Has that been established yet?
Oh, there you go. Now it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure Lex doesn't mind, right?
No, he doesn't mind at all.
Yeah.
Remember, he does his own online things.
I thought
so.
I thought he'd given up on that. It was when we were hanging out at Seawolf. He was telling me, no one's watching. And then-
He gave up on one of his platforms. What is he big on now? Is it Twitter? Maybe not Twitter. I'm sorry, that's not the right one. What is the?
Oh, Twitch.
No, he does Twitch sometimes. But what is the one? It's like it's really quick and some of the videos are really short.
Oh,
like,
TikTok.
TikTok. I think
Yeah,
he's huge.
I don't consume that at all.
One of them, he's actually got quite a following.
Really?
Yeah.
What does he post?
It's almost all 2K basketball, but I mean that's his thing. But he's got a lot of people following on that.
Like TikTok is one of those things where it's still new enough where it's actually fairly easy to get like a huge following on that. I mean, when I say fairly easy, obviously it's all relative, but compared to getting big on like an Instagram and YouTube, it's much, much easier. If you're putting out like content that somewhat like engaging or people enjoy, you can easily get hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah.
Quick.
I mean, granted, he doesn't have hundreds of thousands, but the funny thing is, I'm sorry, we're probably digressing. You could probably just cut this all out of the video.
Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's just a hang.
He never shows himself in the videos, which I kind of like, because he's just all about showing game clips. But I always tell him, I was like, dude, you're a good looking kid. Like, if you show yourself a little bit more, it might help. And he's like, I don't
Little
think
teeny
so.
bopper girls.
But I think the girls would love him because they do. Like everywhere we go, it's always like they swoon over him.
So does he not? He doesn't think that he's a good-looking kid.
No, he knows he is actually.
Really?
Yeah.
But yet he doesn't want to use to his advantage in terms of TikTok. I kind of admire that.
But I don't know that his intentions are noble. I just don't think he thinks it'll make a difference. I genuinely wouldn't give him the noble benefit of the doubt.
Okay, I was like, oh, hey, that's really noble of him. Well, there's some depth to this guy.
No, he frustrates me. He has a lack of nobility that really, because I'm the opposite. Like to me, everything has to be like noble and just that
you're
about
very
me.
much a noble guy.
Incredibly principled. And
yeah.
he's not. And it like breaks my heart. And there's things like I don't understand. Like I caught him lying to me once since he moved in. And like I was devastated. Like I almost cried. It was just like, how can this happen? We don't lie to each other in my house.
So he's like, what, 13?
12.
12. I mean,
I know that. The rational side of me knows that. But there's like, I want everything in my world to be perfectly noble and principled. And it's like, oh.
Can I ask what he lied about? Was it a small thing or was it a big thing?
It was about his schoolwork. He wasn't doing it.
Okay, so the typical childhood lie.
Yeah. Which
I
mean,
it.
he paid.
Yeah.
He paid, trust me. But
yeah. So no video games, no TikTok.
I took it all away.
Yeah.
Even his allowance, everything was gone until he got caught up.
Oh,
he lost
really?
everything.
That's good though. I feel like consequences is a good thing, and they have to be dire enough so that the kid really learns their lesson.
Kids need to get more than compliments today,
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't have any kids, so I can't say, but I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like kids are coddled.
they are.
And when you see, especially when you see the way they grow up and how they behave, like, you've never been put in your place.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
And especially with like this this shelter in place, like kids are just like getting fat and stupid by the second. It drives me crazy. So like I'm limiting his video game time. Now he's not even in trouble right now, but he gets X amount of screen time, and then if he wants more, he has to earn it.
Oh, how did he take that? I'm sure he didn't take that well.
That didn't go well. And but it is what it is. But he's being more creative now. I caught him drawing pictures, and he was researching something on the internet, and he was reading something, and it's like that's what I want to see my kid doing. I don't want to see him, sitting.
Does he have his own room?
He does.
He has his computer in there too, and internet and all that.
He does, but he has to do school now in the same room as me.
Okay.
So where I'm working and Celine's working, he's got his own spot in that room now, and I have to see him working. He can't, like, his school days now are like my work days. Like, you sit there and you look professional and you do your job. So, but yeah, on top of that, like, now it's like, and I'm not kidding. It's like, did you do push-ups today? No. Well, do some push-ups. Well, how many do I have to do? At least 100. You're not doing anything until you give me 100 push-ups.
100 for the day, right?
Yeah, which I'll increase over time. But and
so what's the point behind that? What are you trying to instill there?
well, it's not like they don't have gym class anymore. Outdoor activities are dead. Because of COVID, they took the rims off the basketball hoops across the street.
Really?
Yeah. So there's really, like, I'm not going to tell them you have to go jogging, but there's nothing physical to do. And it's not like we can get with other kids and play sports. It's just a health thing. I'm not trying to make a muscular kid or make him strong. I don't care about that. I care about him being healthy. And you're not healthy being in the house every day, all day, for months with zero exercise. That's not, even for us, we need to do something. Your wife is like a shining pillar of staying in shape.
Beast,
she's a monster.
Man. She's a beast.
Yeah.
Well, when you see the next weekly vlog that goes live on Monday, there's a clip of her there. Her guns are just on full display.
That's awesome.
Her triceps, she's just ridiculous.
So,
in fact, that's the title of that vlog is My Wife Has More Muscles Than Me.
That's awesome.
It's like way more muscles. I love it. That's one of the things I love about her,
Oh, she looks great with it. Like, some women, it looks, anyways, I don't want to insult any groupings.
Sure, let's insult them. Why not?
No, but some women, it doesn't look as good. And some women, it looks very, very feminine and beautiful. I think Chris is the latter,
I think it depends how proportional it is and just
you're right.
how ridiculously bulky it is. If it's not ridiculously bulky.
But yeah, to me, it just adds to your wife's beauty. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's awesome.
What's funny is when we met and we started going out, I was the one who was in amazing shape and I was, really ripped.
That's what I heard. She would look at Mike's back muscles while they were in class. Yeah. She'd sit beside him and see him rippling through his shirt.
And she had always kind of secretly wanted to, like, exercise and work out, but she didn't really know anything about it. And I was a personal trainer at the time. So, so I made a routine for her and got her started, and she just took it and ran with it. And the longer we've been together, my body's just been declining, whereas hers has just been steadily improving. And now she's just like way past me. It's kind of amazing because she's been so consistent for all these years.
Do you ever like challenge her to like a push-up contest or anything?
Well, she knows she can't. Well, you know what? She probably thinks she can beat me in a push-up.
I'm going to instigate this after we walk away.
Yeah, I'm sure she would love that.
She
would love that.
I'm going to
like, she definitely can't beat me in a pull-up challenge because there is a difference. Men are just stronger, physically stronger.
Well, yeah, that's just scientific.
And just scientific. And pull-ups are one of the most challenging body weight exercises you can do.
If not the most. Without going into things like without going into weird stuff like muscle ups.
Yeah, but it's
things
still
like that. But as far as like
pull-up.
But as far as standard body weight exercises go, the pull-up is the king.
Yeah, so she actually thinks she can do more push-ups than me. And you know what? She might.
I need to see this, and it's got to happen today. So when we walk away from here...
How are we doing? Are we doing like a one-set max?
One set max.
Okay.
I'll judge.
Yeah, we might do it. Let's do it. Let's end this right now.
I'll even join you guys.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll end this right now. We'll film it on my phone. We'll put it at the end of this.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, let's see who could do the most.
After the credits, stick around to see who does more.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's end it here then. Now, Joe, I know you don't have a website, but do you care to tell people how to follow you on Instagram at all or not?
Nah, man.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, that's what I figured.
My Instagram's private. Like, I just let my closest friends, so that's why you can see. But my closest friends and family. Otherwise, people are just locked out.
Okay, well, you guys know where to follow me, so... Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.
Support my boy.
Watch the push-up challenge coming up right now.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, she's going to love it.
All right, so the contest is about to happen. The contestants are warming up.
Okay, well, let me take my socks off. I don't want any slippage on my feet.
Oh, yeah, we don't want slippage.
Yeah, that's going to affect the number of reps I can do. If I'm fighting. Yeah, I'm serious. If I'm fighting to slip. All right.
Oh, this is real. This is real. The socks are off. Oh, they're both barefoot. You guys can start whenever you want.
A little bit. Okay, it's recording already?
It's recording.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, she switched to knuckles.
That's even harder, Chris. All this downward dogging, guys. You guys are borderline cheating. I gotta say.
I'm done.
What'd you get, Mikey?
I'll say after she's done.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give her any extra motivation here.
See, Mike's recovering. Chris is still going. She's doing a lot of downward dogging.
She's looking good.
Between you, well, from your view and the downward dog, I'm sure she is.
Hey yo.
Yes.
That's it.
How many was that?
50.
Ooh, she beat me. I got 41.
Look at you kids. Aww.
Man, you're getting 100. Right.
Oh, you gotta go all the way up, Joe. Those are partial reps.
You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, you gotta go all the way up full range. The YouTube viewers shall decide
Huh?
if Joe's reps count.
That's 50, Chris.
There's 50 already?
Oh, those are 50 partial reps.
Those are not partials.
Those are partial reps,
You are not
Joe.
supposed to lock out your arm. That's a fact.
No, you're not locking out your arm, but you'd be surprised if you see.
It's high enough.
That's high enough. You weren't going that
Yes, I
high.
was. I most certainly was.
You-